our Chicago studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Samana Siddiqui. All polls say Zohran Mamdani is leading the New York City mayoral race despite President Donald Trump's endorsement of his opponent, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. However, Trump is not giving up. Today, he said any Jew voting for Mamdani is a stupid person. Trump once again called Mamdani the communist candidate. On Truth Social, Trump claimed that New York has zero chance of survival under Mamdani's leadership. Trump has used every opportunity in recent weeks to fiercely oppose Mamdani, calling him dangerous for America and a radical leftist. On X, Mamdani mocked Cuomo after Trump backed him, saying, "Congratulations, Andrew Cuomo. I know how hard you worked for this." Polls aggregated by the New York Times have Mamdani leading by 5 to 25 points. President Donald Trump says he will not release food aid until Democrats end the government shutdown. In a post on Truth Social, Trump wrote that the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP benefits, will be given only when the radical left Democrats open up government, which they can easily do, and not before. Trump's comment comes a day after administration lawyers told a federal court in Rhode Island that it would tap into a contingency fund to issue partial food stamp payments for November. Federal judges in Rhode Island and Massachusetts had ordered the government to act. The administration had earlier resisted, saying it lacked the authority to spend the funds. The shutdown has entered its second month. Congress has failed to agree on a spending plan. Republicans and Democrats remain divided over health and social spending. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says some parts of the U.S. economy are already in recession. Speaking on CNN, Bessent said several sectors are contracting and more could follow without further interest rate cuts. His remarks contrast with President Donald Trump's repeated claims that the economy is the best it's ever been. Earlier this year, Trump acknowledged that Americans could feel some pain from his policies. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick also warned that a short-term recession might be worth it. Despite the administration's upbeat tone, new polls show most Americans disagree. A CBS News YouGov survey found that 60% disapprove of Trump's handling of the economy, while a CNN poll shows 61% believe his policies have made things worse. Bessent's comments mark the first public acknowledgement from within Trump's cabinet that parts of the economy are shrinking. The United States circulated a draft resolution at the UN Security Council proposing the creation of an international security force in Gaza. Axios reports that the plan would give the U.S. and partner countries a broad mandate to govern Gaza for at least 2 years. The proposed international security force would secure Gaza's borders, protect civilians and aid routes, and help train a new Palestinian police force. It would also oversee Gaza's demilitarization by dismantling armed groups and preventing their rearmament. Washington aims to bring the resolution to a vote within weeks and deploy the first troops by January. Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan said troop participation will depend on the final wording of the UN resolution. He stressed the force must have a clear mandate and legitimacy under international law to operate effectively in Gaza. Jewish lobby groups in California have attacked the state's faculty association over a question in its candidate survey. It asks candidates to disclose support or funding from groups such as the American Israel Public Affairs Committee and the Jewish Public Affairs Committee, along with the oil industry and police unions. The California Legislative Jewish Caucus and its allies called the question anti-Semitic and discriminatory. The Faculty Association denied that claim, saying it was a fair inquiry into lobbying influence, not religion or ethnicity. The union defended its right to question political pressure on educators. The Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, in California strongly sided with the Faculty Association. It called the attacks a politically motivated smear campaign meant to silence critics of Israel. CAIR said equating scrutiny of lobbying with anti-Semitism harms free speech and weakens real efforts against hate. A new UN satellite assessment shows that nearly 81% of all structures in Gaza have been damaged after 2 years of Israel's genocide in the region. UN spokesperson Farhan Haq said northern Gaza recorded the most destruction since July, with approximately 5,700 newly affected buildings. He added that more than 123,000 structures have been destroyed, 50,000 severely or moderately damaged, and 24,000 possibly damaged. Haq said the UN and its partners are working to expand aid and rebuild. Temporary learning spaces have reopened and repairs are underway in 4 schools. He warned that while humanitarian efforts are improving conditions, far more assistance is required to meet Gaza's immense needs. A ceasefire between Israel and Hamas took effect on October 10th under a 20-point plan proposed by President Donald Trump. However, Israel has violated the truce over 100 times. A new survey has found that only 3% of school-age Rohingya girls in Bangladesh are enrolled in any form of education. The study was carried out by the Burma Task Force, which is part of the U.S. and Canada-based group Justice for All. It involved 1,000 Rohingya women, consultations with educators, and multiple school visits in Cox's Bazar, where most of the Rohingya refugees in the country reside. Presenting the findings in Bangladesh's capital, Dhaka, Justice for All President Imam Abdul Malik Mujahid said the situation is alarming. He urged Bangladesh to adopt an accredited and inclusive education framework for Rohingya refugees. The report highlighted that nearly 2,800 learning centers have been closed since June, affecting more than 159,000 students and 4,900 volunteer teachers. Justice for All says it is ready to partner with Bangladesh to mobilize U.S. Muslim charities to strengthen education for Rohingya girls. American Muslim charities donate more than $4 billion annually. Rohingya are not allowed by the Bangladeshi government to study beyond 4th grade level. Speaking at a press conference in Dhaka, the delegation said education is essential to ending dependency and ensuring long-term stability for the displaced community in Cox's Bazar. The group of international human rights and policy experts outlined 3 key proposals. These are a national policy for Rohingya education, an accredited certification system for higher learning and jobs, and permission for U.S. Muslim charities to assist educational programs. A Texas family has sued the AI company Character.ai, claiming its chatbot drove their autistic son towards self-harm and violent behavior. The parents say their son's personality changed after months of talking with the bot. Screenshots shown in court revealed disturbing sexualized messages. Amid growing outrage, Character.ai has now banned users under the age of 18. The company calls the move a step to protect teens and vulnerable users, but declined to comment on the lawsuit. Senator Richard Blumenthal and other lawmakers have proposed new rules requiring age checks and clear warnings for AI chatbots. Experts say unsupervised chatbot use can be dangerous. Common Sense Media reports that more than 70% of U.S. teens use AI tools, raising concerns about mental health and exposure to harmful content. Other platforms still allow minors to use their chatbots. That's all from our Chicago studios tonight. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. Please donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.